Hi, this is Munson with Munson Music, and we're going to talk about how you can play a song called Two Princes by the Spin Doctors. And we're going to start off with kind of our verse progression that starts on a D major chord. And when you play D major, there's a couple different ways you might want to play around with this. You do first finger on the G string 2nd fret, second finger on the high E 2nd fret, third finger on the B string 3rd fret. And if you strum the D string to the high E string, that sounds a D major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. Now through the song, you may also want to think about kind of using a power chord for that, where you can do the first finger on the A string on the 5th fret, third finger on the D string on the 7th fret, and if you strum the A string and the D string, that sounds a D5 power chord, and it sounds really, really happy. Now, if you like bar chords, you could also do a cool little bar right there, where you do your first finger across the entire 5th fret, third finger over the D, G, and B. You can use other fingers for that. It sounds like another D major. You want to think about using that through the song too. And then from there, we're going to be going to a B minor chord. Now, normally you do this as a 2nd fret bar, second finger on the B string 3rd fret, third finger on the D string on the 4th fret, pinky on the G string on the 4th fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a B minor chord, and it sounds really, really sad. Now you may also want to think about using a B5 power chord, where you do the first finger on the A string 2nd fret, third finger on the D string 4th fret, and if you strum the A and the D string, that sounds a B5 power chord. Or you could use a really cool drone voicing for B minor, where you do the first finger on the A string 2nd fret, second finger on the G string 2nd fret, third finger on the B string 3rd fret, and the pinky on the high E string 3rd fret. And if you strum the A string to the high E string, it sounds a cool little B minor 7 with some stuff added. And then from the B minor, we're going to be going to an A major chord when we play A major. First finger goes to the D on the 2nd fret, second finger on the G string 2nd fret, third finger on the B string on the 2nd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds an A major chord, and it sounds really happy. Now you may also want to use just the A string and the D string in that, make that an A5 power chord. Or another place you can play A5 would be doing first finger on the low E 5th fret, third finger on the A string 7th fret, that sounds an A5 power chord. Or you might want to think about something called A7 sus, where you do the first finger on the D string 2nd fret, second finger on the G string 2nd fret, third finger on the B string 3rd fret, and the pinky on the high E string 3rd fret. And if you strum the A string to the high E string, that sounds an A7 sus. And then from the A, we're going to be going to a G major chord when we play G major. First finger goes to the A on the 2nd fret, second finger on the low E string 3rd fret, third finger on the high E string 3rd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a G major chord, and it sounds really happy. Now you may also want to put the third finger on the B string 3rd fret, pinky on the high E string 3rd fret, and if you strum all those together, that sounds a G major chord, and it sounds really happy. Or you may want to think about using a G5 power chord, where you do the first finger on the low E string 3rd fret, and then third finger on the A string 5th fret, and strum just the E and the A string to kind of get a really powerful sound out of that. So you could kind of work it as just kind of a D5, B5, A5, G5, and you might want to kind of throw in some percussion between that, and that might be kind of a cool way to kind of work it. It's kind of just using the power chords. Or you might want to mute that a little bit, and kind of make that a little bit more interesting with that too. So now I'm doing kind of a down, down, mute, 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 mute kind of idea. And what it really kind of sounds like in the recording is you could do kind of a down, down, and then go to the B minor for a up, up, down, and then go to the A for a down, down, and then G for a up, up, down. So you'd have D, D, B, A, G. So you might want to kind of play around with that too. Or you can do that with the whole chords too. A lot of times to support my voice, I like to use something called a strum pattern. And one of my favorite strum patterns for a 4/4 like this is down, down, up, up, down, up. So if you took the D and just tried that a lot, you'd have down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. The weird part is how we're halving the pattern. So it almost feel like you do D with a down, down, hit the B minor for the up, up, down, up, and then do the A with the down, down, and then hit the G for the up, up, down, up. D with the down, down, come around the up, down, up, A, down, G on the up, down, up, A, down, B around the up, down, up, A, down, G on the up, down, up, A, down, B minor, A, G, D, B minor, A, G. Or a lot of times I like to add basses to chords like that too. So you could do the D string for kind of a bass note on the D string, and then go to the B minor for an A string for your bass, and then the A would have the A for the bass, and the G would have the low E for the bass. So you could even work it as kind of a bass down up if all that other stuff seems crazy to you. You could do D with a D bass, D minor with an A bass, A with an A bass, G with low E bass, or just work just down up on each chord. That's really crazy for you. So D, B minor, A, G, or you might want to take all those things and kind of mix them up. Pretty cool way to kind of do it too. D, B minor, A, G. Now another strum pattern I would think about using because of the drum feel is something called the 16th note strum pattern there. And what I mean by that is if you're tapping your foot to the beat, right now we're kind of dividing that beat into two parts with our down, down, up, down, up. 1, 2, 1, 2, and that's called an 8th note. What a 16th note is where you divide that into 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And one of my favorite 16th note strum patterns is a long down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up. And what I mean by that is if you take the D and do a down for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what you're doing on the first beat. Then on the second beat, you're doing a down on 1, down on 3, up on 4. So you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, down, down, up, down, down. Then on the third beat, you're doing an up on 2, down on 3. So you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, up, down, 1, up, down, 1, up, down. And then on the last beat, you're going down, up, right along with the 1, 2, 3, 4. So down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So all together, you got down, 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 up. Basses to that and make it kind of a bass down, down, up, down, down, up, down, or bass, bass, down, up, down, down, up, or bass, bass, down, up, bass, down, down. Very cool. So you could kind of half that pattern for the chords, and this gets a little weird, but you'd have your D, down, down, up, and then go to the B minor for the up, down, and then down, up, down, and then A with the down, 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 up, and then G with the up, down, down, up, down. Minor, up, down, down, up, down, up, A, down, down, up, G, up, down, down, up, down, D, down, down, up, B minor, up, down, down, up, A, down, down, up, G, up, down, down, up. Or you could add basses to that and have bass, bass, down, up, B minor, up, bass, down, up, A, bass, bass, down, up, G, up, bass, down, B, bass, bass, down, up, B minor, bass, down, A. Around with it that way too, and that can be a little bit challenging to get the tempo, but very cool. Now there are some cool little hits through the tune too, where you may want to think about using smaller versions of those chords, and this is more kind of a lead guitar idea. But when you're playing a D major chord, you're actually playing Ds and F sharps and A's. Actually, you're playing a D and an A and a D and an F sharp. So as long as you're still playing those three notes, a D, an F sharp, and A, it's still a D chord. So another D you may want to play around with would be going all the way to, and this is a little crazy, actually there's a couple different options. You could go to the first or fifth fret on the high E string with the first finger, third finger on the G string 7, pinky on the B string 7. So now I got 7, 7, 5, and that's a little D major chord. Or you could take that and go all the way to the 10th fret over the E and B string is kind of a little mini bar, and add the second finger on the G string on the 11th fret. And that's still another way you could play your D major chord. So it might be kind of cool while you're on D's to mix between those shapes. Now on the B minor, you could kind of take the top part of that B minor bar, that's 4, 3, 2 right here, as a B minor. Or you could do the 7th fret as kind of a mini bar, or over the D, G, and B, 7, 7, 7. Or you could go all the way up to 10th fret on the high E, and then 11th fret on the G string, and then 12th fret on the B string for a little B minor. So that might be kind of a cool thing to take those shapes and move them around. And then for the A major, you could do that the second open idea of the A, or you could do 6, 5, 5. It's kind of a little A major, or you could kind of work it as a D shape, but on 9th and 10th frets, which is kind of crazy. And then for G shapes, you could take those shapes and move them down. So you could do like 3rd on the high E, 3rd on the B, 4th on the G. That's a lot of D shape on the 7A, or you could do the 12-12-10. I did for the G, so I'm hoping I put up tab for these, right? So we kind of have like a little D, a little B minor, a little A, a little G. So you might want to kind of play around with little shapes that way too. I think this could be very, very cool for this tune. A, G, D, B minor, A, G, kind of working little shapes. And then we'll basically be repeating that progression until we get to our bridge part. And on our bridge, we start on the G major, and then we go to D major, and then we go back to G major, and then we kind of have big stop times on A. And sometimes we do 2 A's, sometimes we do 3. But there's this cool hit that happens, at least on the very first bridge, where you do 5th fret on the A string, or low E string for A note, 7th fret on the A string for E note, you kind of do an A5 power chord, and just let it slide down and kind of kill the sound of the string. So through that part, you'd have G, D, G, A, and then you could kind of do that big hit that kind of lead back into the verse chorus part. Now you can also use those strum patterns we were talking about. So you could do it with a down, down, up, up, down, up, or a bass, down, up, down, up, and have G, D, G, and a big A, and you might want to throw it in that lick to lead back into the D minor, or you could use your 16th pattern, and you kind of have that whole pattern on each chord. So you one on D, and then your whole pattern on G, but you got to build up on A. So you might want to kind of play around with that too. And then from there, then we go back into kind of our verse chorus part. So kind of back to our D, B minor, A, G, for our second verse. D, B minor, A, G. Repeat that 4 times, kind of going through the verse until we get to our solo part. And our solo is kind of just a little variation of those kind of put together. So we end up with kind of our main progression 4 times, and then we go into our bridge part straight up. D, B minor, A, G, D. You know, there are licks around these chords too that can always be cool to throw into. General idea there. And then at the end of the solo, we kind of go back into our bridge. G, B, part, there's lots of cool licks, and you could go find some good tabs for those. But the scale that's mainly getting used is something called a B minor pentatonic scale, where you could play 7 on the low E, 10 on the low E, 7 on the A, 9 on the A, 7 on the D, 9 on the D, 7 on the G, 9 on the G, 7 on the B, 10 on the B, 7 on the high E, and then 10 on the high E. So the notes you're playing is you're going B and D and E and F sharp and A and B and D and E and F sharp and A and B and D. So you're really only playing B's and D's and E's and F sharps and A's. It's kind of those 5 notes of the scale. So you may want to kind of play around with hammer-ons through that, or if you know the pentatonic licks, you could play around with those. Pull-offs can be cool. Double stops can be cool, playing 2 notes at the same time in the scale. Bends can be cool, or combinations of hammer-on pull-off. Trill ideas, vibrato ideas. So you may want to kind of play around with that scale through the song too. Or what can be very cool, and almost Jimi Hendrix-esque if he was playing this song, is to do kind of a D idea, make up a pentatonic lick, and then a B idea, or you could play the B5 on the 7 on the low E and the 9th fret. Oh, that's a little bit closer, isn't it? So we'd have D, lick, B, lick, and then A, G. So just kind of a general idea there, kind of. So that can be very, very cool thing to kind of try. You may have to kind of take that really slow to kind of keep the rhythm going. So that's general idea there. And then from that solo, then we go back into kind of our verse part for kind of our last verse. A, G, B minor, A, G. Or you might want to kind of take all these ideas that we're kind of, going over, kind of mix it up into how you want to kind of do it too. And then from there, then we'd be going into our last bridge. So we got our G, B, this cool little lick come in where you could go 5th on the D, 7 on the D, 5th on the G, and then 7 on the D, and then we let the drummer play. And we got a little percussion break, and you might want to make up some percussion, on the guitar. Taps cool, percussion, and then we come back in on a verse. Hey, geez, so you want to take all these ideas. Play around with them and kind of see what you want to say with the song. But that's the basics of how you get strummed through Two Princes by the Spin Doctors. So good luck!